Ahoy there, Captain Benzie here, coming at you from inside the Eve Echo's final test with a video on reverse engineering. In this video, we're going to look at what reverse engineering is, how to do it, how to be better at it, what data cores are, and how to get ship blueprints. This is an important part of the industry chain. So obviously on industry, you're going to have people who are mining the raw ores, then reprocessing those raw ores into minerals, which you use to build ships. You then need obviously people who are reverse engineering to create the blueprints that the industrialists use. The industrialists take those blueprints and those raw minerals, combine them together into ships. Now you can see I am down here in Nullsec. I've been doing some ratting in my Jean Yue destroyer. This thing is an absolute beast. Go watch the video on it if you haven't already. And I wanted to talk to you about how reverse engineering works. Now before we jump in on this one, if you do enjoy the video, let me know by hitting like on it. Consider subscribing to the channel for all things Eve Echoes, and let me know what topics you'd like to see me cover in future videos, either by commenting down below in the comment section or by coming and finding me on social media, including the Catskull Cartel Discord. Now, if you are really enjoying this channel and this content, do be aware I have a Patreon. It would help me out massively if you guys head over there, and if you fancy making a pledge, and there's a couple of little bits and pieces for the Discord that you'll be able to get as by pledging, but you just help keep this content alive. Here in Zimbabwe, the unemployment rate is astronomical. This is a full-time job for me. This is how I feed my family and how I get on with life. Anyway, all that said and done, let's talk about reverse engineering. Now, as I said, I've been out here in Nullsec and I've been doing some ratting in the Jean Yue prototype. You can see all of the wonderful loot that I've managed to pick up doing that, things from blueprints through to some rather nice Mark V modules and little bits spread around here, and all of these juicy data cores. Now, data cores only come from what are called scout anomalies. I have looked around the local area this morning. I cannot find an actual scout anomaly to show you, but do look for the in the overview for anything that says, like, for example, Angel Scout Anomaly or Gurustus Scout Anomaly. Those are what you're going to need to do to get these data cores. And these come in all different shapes and sizes, with things like here electromagnetic physics or laser physics, mechanical engineering, rocket science, high energy physics, or even Minmatar Starship Engineering, which is my personal favourite. I love that name. That just sounds so absolutely badass. And those are what you're going to need. So what I'm going to do, you can't have these in your ship. Well, you can carry them in your ship hold, but this isn't going to work if they are in your ship hold. So I'm going to select all, I'm going to move all of this to the item hanger here at this particular station. Now you see those are now all in the item hanger. If the stuff isn't in the item hanger, it's not going to work. And we're going to need both the data cores, and here you can see level 6 Minmatar ship debris. Now ultimately, ship debris has two uses. Now if you go straight onto it here, you can see that if you reprocess it, you can earn things like charred microcircuits, contaminated nanopolymer, that kind of thing. Those are the raw materials you would use for building rigs. Rigs are something I will cover in a future video, but if you were to reprocess these, then you are going to get parts for rigs. We don't want to reprocess them, we want the raw hulls for reverse engineering. So we've got some hulls, we've got a load of data cores, and these are all now in the item hold of this particular station. Now on the right hand side of the screen here, if we go into industry, you load up into the manufacturing screen here. You've got manufacture on the left, which is of course based on like actually building ships and parts and all of that. We'll go through that in a separate video. It's reverse engineering here in the top right that we are going to be looking at. So I'm going to click on one of these pluses and it's going to bring us up to this menu here. And you can start to see the different blueprints that you can try and reverse engineer, mostly from tech level 4 upwards. And we're just going to go down these because there's a couple of ships that I do actually want to build. So straight up here, you all know I love my Thrashers. A Thrasher, Interdictor, however the heck you pronounce that. This is the first one that I'm going to be looking at. You can see here that this wants to use a level 6 Minmatar ship debris, one of the two that I have. It's going to use 3 of the high energy data cores that I've got, and 3 of the Minmatar Starship engineering data cores that I have there. So it's all there with a success rate here in the middle of 100%. Now, it is going to take 48 seconds to reverse engineer that. You can see here at the bottom right, sorry. 48 seconds for the reverse engineering time cost, 25,000 ISK, and it's got my wallet balance under the bottom there. Now I can build 3 of these, so I'm going to start on that one, and you'll see that is now going to start working and counting down on that particular job there. While that one's processing as well, I do also want to see if I can build something like, where is it, the Hound, because I really want to do some stealth bomber stuff later on. I am going to consider building that one, although that will be my last Minmatar ship debris. I could also look into a Vigil E War, and possibly even a Tal War Sniper, Bellicose, Stabber Fleet issue, Rupture Blueprint. The Stabber Fleet issue will probably sell quite well, and the Mammoth Blueprint. Oh, that's a tempting one. Do I have all the parts I need there? Success rate of 87%. Can I do that even without the high energy? No, I don't have enough materials, so I can't do that just yet. But it's a success rate of 87%. You're not always guaranteed to be able to do these. So that's what I'll come back and do at a later date. Let's go back up to that Hound. And the other one's already completed, so let's start a job here. Again, 32 seconds, 15,000 ISK. That's going to be working here. Now we're back at this screen. I can take this first blueprint here, Thrasher Interdictor Blueprint. Awesome. Complete the industry job, view the job details, we can take that. We've got 18 seconds to wait, 15 seconds for this last one. You'll see now that I'm out of parts to actually do these. I now think, oh no, I do still have a Minmatar ship debris. For some reason, it didn't take all of those. Do I have enough for a Burst 2? Yes, but I've already got a Burst 2 built. You can see, you can kind of go through these piece by piece. If I wanted to make a second one of those, I could do. Tal War Sniper, do I have enough parts for that? No, I don't, and the job has now completed, so let's come back out, and we're going to collect that job as well. That's both those blueprints now done. If we come now to the station item hanger and scroll down, you'll see that that Hound blueprint and the Thrasher Interdictor blueprint that we've just made are now there. Now, they're not much use sitting here in a nullsec station that I'm using personally, so I'm going to select all, move everything back to my Jean Yue prototype, and I'm going to fly back out to Half and get someone in my corporation to turn those blueprints into actual ship parts. Now, this is just one part of, obviously, building a ship. You have people like me who are going to be going around doing anomalies, scouting those out and getting the data cores and ship pieces. Then I'm going to pass those on to someone who has the correct skills to do reverse engineering properly, and we'll come to that in just a moment. They then turn those data cores and ship parts into blueprints. Then you've got the miners who mine raw ores. They pass those ores off to people who have reprocessing skills. The reprocessors turn those ores into minerals, and then they pass those minerals onto the industrialists. The industrialists take the minerals and the blueprints, combine that all together into a ship, and I will cover industry in a future video. Now, obviously, there's the Hound and the Thrasher Interdictor here. I do have a Probe Covert Ops blueprint as well that I am hoping to be built and ready for future videos. Anyway, so we talked about skills earlier, about why I'm not going to always do this. I'm going to be one of those guys who goes around and gets the data cores, and then I'm going to pass them off to corporation mates, because there are a lot of different skills for reversing engineering. Now, if we start to have a look at here, you'll see obviously you've got under industrial technology, you've got your production, mining, and resource processing. That's for turning like ores into minerals. If we come across a couple more, eventually under applied science, we have invention. Now, these are the skills you are going to use for reverse engineering. Obviously, I'm down in Minmatar space and doing Minmatar reverse engineering, so I'm using Minmatar invention principles. This gives me 20% increase to research speed, and 50% increase to research success rate, and increases the amount of reverse engineering jobs by 1. That's all very useful if I want to build Minmatar ships. But if I decide that actually I want to do Amarr ships as well, I need to go to Amarr invention principles, or Caldari for Caldari ships, and so on and so forth. Now, obviously, getting those to level 5 is going to be useful. Once you go into advanced, again, it's things like the success rate. As you saw already, the Mammoth, when we looked at that, had an 87% success rate, despite the fact that I have Minmatar invention principles basic maxed out to 5. As the ships get more and more complex, that possibility of success actually goes lower, and some of the really high-level ships have a very low success rate, and you don't want to be pouring in a whole ton of hard-earned data cores to try and make a blueprint and it fail time and time and time again. And that's where you're going to want to find someone who has all of these skills right the way up, so that they have the minimal chance of failure possible, so they succeed on like a 99% or 100% or whatever you want to get it to those people. Now, of course, this also applies to factions. So down here, obviously, in Minmatar space, we have the Angel Cartel for things like the Dramiel, and so on and so forth for those different ships, or the Guristas Pirates for the Worm, that kind of thing. You can get skills here for the Angel Invention Principles, same kind of idea. Increases the success rate chance, and increases the reverse engineering research speed. So you can see straight up, there are obviously 3 different inventions for each of the main empires, for Amarr, Caldari, Gallente, and Minmatar. Then, of course, you have all the faction ones as well, where Angel, Blood Raiders, Guristas Pirates, Serpentis Corporation, right down to Sanchez Nation, or yada yada yada. There are tons of these, which means you are not going to be able to do all of them. Thus, it's one of those things I imagine a lot of people, like myself, will have an area of expertise. So for me, I will probably start leveling up the Minmatar one a bit more, and I will continue to rat Minmatar space for these different parts. And I'll probably also go into Angel Cartel for that exact same reason, because it's that area of space I'm going through, whereas someone who is working on Caldari parts may go into Gurastas, and so on and so forth. It's a nice little skill to have extra if you are ratting, just because it allows you to make those blueprints. And those blueprints do actually sell surprisingly well on the market, because not everyone is doing this. It is quite a time-intensive process to find a Scout anomaly, to clear it out, and it is a difficult thing to clear. Scout anomalies are tougher than other anomalies at their current level. If you can clear a level 5 anomaly just about, you will struggle with a level 5 Scout, and so on and so forth. So sometimes it does actually require a team to go in and do. Anyway, folks, that really does cover everything that I want to say about reverse engineering, how you do it, why you do it, and how you get better at it. So hopefully that's inspired you to go out, find yourself some Scout anomalies, blow them the hell up, loot them for the data cores, and build yourself some ship blueprints. Either make those blueprints into ships using your own corporation or perhaps your own skills. You might have an industrial alt who can do that kind of stuff, or sell them on the market for other people. It is a massive part of the lifeblood of New Eden. We need more people doing it sooner rather than later. Anyway, folks, thank you ever so much for watching. Good luck out there with reverse engineering. Let me know how you get on. Otherwise, happy sailing, and see you in New Eden.